Okay, so this area of the world is ruled by water. And so this is where Antarctica is has all the ice caps that are melting. This is how all the water is melting, giving us information. But also why Africans are very into like the music and beats and drums and dancing, and so also are they over here because they're very in tune with the movement and the flow of life, the currents. They stay up with current times. They know what's going on with fashion more. Um, they also have deep feelings, and because people around here are of more of darker, they're very into the water, the depths of like they got that rich blood basically almost, in the rich roots, and they can feel it, and this is why they are very more in tune with like music and dancing and the times and the currents of what's going on, if it's style, if it's sounds that everyone likes, things like that, is because of the water. Over here on the earth, this side is ruled by earth again, pretty much just basically saying at least people knew how to like even build some homes in the mountains and stuff like that. They knew how to use the earth. They knew how to plant. They knew how to grow things. They knew the medicines, and they knew the world, the earth better. Up here, oh, sorry. These represent reptiles also. So air represents insects because they fly through the air. They bug us. Not all of them. Some will go down the ground, but pretty much they don't have like blood in them. So it's more of a insect energy. This, the water, this is reptiles. Why reptiles is because of them needing to seek the fire. They need the warmth. They lay their eggs. This whole thing is an egg, so they're still connected to the root of the water. Earth is mammals. This is why the Indians like to have totem poles with different animals, and then with the blood going through it, or the mammals, the combination of air and blood, because all of these, well, I guess reptiles have blood too, but they're more cold-blooded. This is more warm-blooded. They pretty much rule all mammals because, or earth, because that's what runs on this earth, and the animals are of this earth and go back to the earth and stuff like that, and provide for the people in the earth. Also, fire would be birds. This is why they have birds on everything. Also, because they get the bird's eye view. They're higher. Oh, sorry, you can't see. They're higher up here. They're at the top. This is where you got like skyscrapers, kingdoms, type of things. But they represent all birds. So I'm not gonna go any further in any of that. I think I did enough explaining on that part. If you have any more questions, ask me. Maybe I'm kind of rushing through some of this stuff because there's a lot to tell that he's showing me that I'm like, I didn't even know about it. I'm going to just draw a human, and it ain't gonna be cute because it don't even matter the way that they look. It's just, shoot, man, this person's got like a 10.5 foot. Okay, so we got eyes. Oh, also with the feminine energy, before I keep going on, the women energy naturally divides, and the woman can separate herself. One, obviously, has given birth. She can divide and multiply and add to life, but also she can also divide herself amongst children, her husband, herself, meet each individual child's needs and wants, the recognition of what their cries mean, to know how to give them what they need. And so mothers that are going through disconnects with their children, not knowing what they're crying for, or not knowing through what hard time they're going through, what does my child need? The child is either going to be expressing your energy or the father's energy, and it depends on how well you know yourself and the father energy that child has, and your ability to meet the needs of that child. But whenever you slept with the man of the father, you drew that energy into you. So there could be a lot of naiveness to you in that situation of like, I didn't know the person, I didn't have proper discernment, I didn't know who they were, and so it add confusion to you with your child. Same thing with the father. If he's disconnected with the mother's emotions, he's going to feel overwhelmed by the needs of the child and feel incompetent in a way of being able to handle the child, because it has the energy of the mother. So it does depend on how well the parents relate to one another, also in their ability to help the child. But there will always be a unique expression to each child that's different. This is where two parents can have 3 kids and none of them act the same. That's the unique expression to everyone. There will always be similarities to one parent or the other. One child might favor one parent more than the other, but there will always be uniqueness of expression. This is what we all need to identify in ourselves. That is you, uniquely who you are on your own, like Christ energy or positive energy, or not even positive energy, source energy, stuff like that. That's the child that we're trying to find back in ourselves, is where we're doing a lot of child healing type of things, inner child work and parent work. So I'm going to just kind of start off with this. So say, there's a sun, it's got light rays, right? Just shining off. And light, let's see, can we see that? Alright, so I'm saying the sun puts off rays, and squiggly little lines like this is how we're always shown that light waves, sound waves are represented, but you put like a little dot on them because it's kind of like sperm, and it's going into the eye. The eye is black. The pupil, it's going into something that's being conceived. Then you got your brain here. My brains are horrible. My drawings are horrible. Don't worry about the drawings. Just get the concept. So all of these little bit of information, because it goes through the ears too. You got sound waves. You got taste. You got smell that's going in here. All this stuff. And you can put little sperm heads on that too. So all this information is coming into us. But the light is more significant, kind of, I guess I should say kind of, because even if you can't see, you still absorb light. It's just, you don't have anything to translate it with to, compute it, basically. But anyway, I'm not trying to get too complicated. I want to keep everything easy so that I can help. Let's make this as simple so everybody can understand it. Anyhow, so let's say these light waves come, and they're like waves, just like sperm, moving, going in, penetrating into here. And this is what we receive, conceive, and then perceive, and then, so it lights up our brain, all our neural networks and stuff, sends all these signals down to the brain, goes down the throat, past the heart, and down into the vagus nerve, right? So that's the sensory part of it. So when it's going through the vagus nerve, the heart depending on how you're feeling, because this is your field. This is your state of being. So if you're upset or if you're happy, that state is constantly shifting. And so it will change the way you see things and perceive things, depending on how your heart is feeling. So this is the story of Adam and Eve. So Adam, being light again, going in there, and then it goes into your mind, or say even if it goes in your mouth. This because they talk about the apple, right? How Eve ate the apple and was tempted by the snake. And this is where I was going to show you, because so say you're eating fruit and it goes down your throat, it passes the heart, and then it goes into the stomach and the liver. And the liver's kind of connected to this. And so whenever we're receiving and perceiving, if it's through our mouth, ears, eyes, whatever, nose, we have to be able to handle it. And depending on our state, it depends on if we can stomach it or not. Sometimes we're better at handling stress or not, because of our heart or magnetic field can sustain or can hold that. So this is why if you're really stressed out and upset, you're like, I can't stomach this, I can't handle this, it's feeling like too much. Basically, you want to throw it back out, spit it out, throw it up. Like even if you literally ate something bad and it just turns your stomach. Okay? And the liver is part of some of this, because it'll go back into the bloodstream and be like a river. But anyway, so then we have like a gut. I'm just going to do it like this. Alright, so we're going to do this. And then we have our genital baggage things. The jewels right there. Being balls if they're guys and being ovaries if they're women. And so this would be the head of the serpent. And so the gut is the serpent, because it goes up in there. And so whenever we're talking about Eve being tempted by the serpent, is man basically having lower nature, because how I said everything's a mirror. Lower nature versus higher nature. They call this this is basically a mind of its own, because all of this acts differently than what this does sometimes, and it's trying to get it to work together. So basically this is like the snake. And so our gut will give us cravings, desires. When you're pregnant, it can tell what your body needs, so it sends out all these sensations and all that stuff, right, through our body, saying, hey, I need this, I need that, I want this, I want that. And that's great, and that helps us stay alive. That tells our body what we need. But whenever we go through puberty, we do this funny little thing where all of a sudden we start growing hair everywhere, in our armpits, down in here, all hair. Men grow hair here, women start to fill out here, right? So that's whenever you're stepping into stronger urges. And whenever you're stepping into stronger urges, that's where it's more of a sexual energy. And that becomes more difficult to manage than just what you're eating and what you want to do. Because this is basically our instincts, our actions. Will have gut feelings. We know what to do. This is how we know the truth, even, is down in here in the gut. And they'll say, what does your gut tell you? This is how God talks to us, unless this helps guide us too. Unless, this is where you have to have discernment, is what are you having urges, cravings, desires for? Is it good for you or not? Because the mind can trick you and say, oh, well, I see so-and-so doing this, so therefore I want to do it. But that doesn't mean it's right for you as an individual, or you trying to trick yourself into believing, I don't know, let's say, trying to reverse it, because the mind can be right too, and down here it can be wrong. Say like you have the urge to go do something, like anger, to go hurt someone, but you're trying to rationalize. Well, when you're in that strong emotions, you're all down in here, and a little bit in your heart too, all in here, And none of that's working because this is all taking control. It's taking control over the mind. Okay, so this is Adam up here, the light again. This is Eve down here. And the heart is Christ. And so it's the balance between Adam and Eve. And so when Eve got tempted down here by the serpent, to do something wrong, it doesn't have to be feminine, but it can be. And there's a reason why they label it this way too. But so basically, when Eve gets tempted by whatever cravings, desires, urges, I'm trying to think of other ways to say it, gut feelings. There's some of this is right and true. This is why we need to stay grounded to our roots down here, because we can get energy coming up, right, into our body from the ground. This is how people talk about grounding. Or it can come down and our energy goes down into the ground. It's an exchange. It does both. So it can go down at the same time as it's also going up in our body. And all of it's circulating as a circuit. But anyhow, Eve is our roots and how we're grounded. And earthly. This is why it's more of down here, connected to the earth. Up here we can imagine, we can dream. Our body can be at work, but our mind can be on vacation type of stuff, okay? So, and then why did I say about, or why did they say that Adam, or Eve came from Adam, right? Well, because the ribs are right in here, and that has bone marrow, and that has the blood. There's a couple of ribs that have that. Also, we have bone marrow down here in our femurs. And this is what produces all the life through our bodies. So this is what they're talking about, how Adam, or Eve was made from Adam, and like that, okay? Because it's the way the body grows and splits off. And so she gets tempted by the serpent, okay? So say it says, I don't know, let's think. Okay, women trying to be in a relationship. I'm gonna help you ladies out a little bit. So Joe, or we'll just call him Adam. Adam comes, tells you all these wonderful things about it, and you're like, oh yeah, that sounds amazing, Adam. I can't wait. And your heart's lit up. It's just beating, all that. But see, tongues, the serpent can have a split tongue, right? The serpent, I'm trying to draw a head here of the serpent. Its tongue is split because the tongue can do both. The tongue, because of these urges, because this woman wants to be loved. There's a need for that. There's an urge for that, because obviously we need to recreate, procreate, whatever. We want to feel whole or loved, and so there is a biological, spiritual need to bond, literally. So she's hearing all this from Adam, and she's like, okay, I like what you're saying. This makes my heart happy. You're making me happy. And so Eve is like, yay, down here, the gut. It's like, yay, we're getting what we need. Or even in the gonads area. Yes, finally, this guy has got what I want. My juices are going, and so on. This could be for men, too. You see some lady, and you're like, okay, I'm really attracted. The gonads are ringing like crazy. And you are looking at her, and you got to be careful, too, because it's like, what do you see in these people? Is it true over here? We'll say true or false. Because the light can be blinding if you have too much light, or you can be depressed down in here, feeling down, feeling heavy if you don't have enough light because you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. This is where Christ helps give us hope, because Christ will bring us up out of those dark places and helps us see the light at the end of the tunnel again, because we were losing our light. We were losing our hope. We were losing anything that felt good, right? So, um, trying to think here. Okay, so what we're receiving through this mind, not down here in this mind, because that's what they say, what head are you thinking with, right? It's literal. We don't realize how literal sometimes our words are. Um, but what you're receiving and perceiving, is it real, right? And so sometimes it lights our heart up and we'll say, yeah, I want that. And that's where we got tempted to follow the wrong thing, being led to sin, where it will keep us going in a downward direction. Sin. It's not a fruitful action, and it's not good. It's not for you. And God gives you plenty of free will to choose to go up or down. Because also, if you go up and you get too high, you're gonna have too unreal, I guess ungrounded type of ideas or daydreams, or you want this but you have no way of actually achieving it. This is where people can play with spirituality or ghosts and entities, not knowing what they're messing with. And you can see stuff, you'll see things, and there are things, but it's not grounded. Nothing becomes of it, nothing real. Okay, now there are people that do have an anointment or a spiritual gift of seeing things ahead of time, psychically, I guess, or whatever, or anointing, being more prophet, or things like that, but they never come to fruition. So that's how you know that stuff that you're receiving is not fruitful. It didn't become anything, and you can get lost in that. And so sometimes a lot also with these energies, like, let's say this goes down, negative, positive, negative. And say you go up, or like, let's say something happens. This is life. This is time. Oh, shoot, I can't even show it. So things are going like this. Going down to negative, positive, negative, positive. This is heartbeat. This is breath. This is everything. It's movement of life. And say, I don't know, Eve meets Adam, and she goes way up here because everything feels good. And you have to be careful because, like I said, too much light can be blinding. Now, if it is good, you have to have this where you have discernment for yourself. What's good for you. The more you're attached to your roots, you know who you are learning you're learning yourself enough to not get lost. And even if you get lost, that's okay, because that's part of life. It's just about getting back on track. But typically when we go this high, right, with a high positive, if it's like, say you could stay up here and it keep going up, but sometimes what goes on is people will undercorrect, or it goes down, way down here, because say this wasn't real, this wasn't true, all those happy times you thought you were having with someone wasn't real. You go from such a high to low. This is where people don't want to even try to be in love anymore. They're like, I'm done because I got up here, I believed it, I thought it was something, and every time I end up right back down here. It's just a process of you trying to learn yourself. Don't give up on love. We all need love. We all want love. It's very natural. And it's very natural to try to figure it out, because we're all been confused, lost, and misguided. And most importantly, what we're all doing is that we're lost our roots, lost how to, like, the way I'm understanding what God's showing me is like the mother's cry, or I meant not the mother's cry, the mother's ability to recognize the cry. So the great split that's getting ready to happen, or is happening right now, I'll show you this too, is, so, we got the world here, and I'm just trying to think how to split it. We'll split it down this way. So we have the people that feel over here. I don't know why I got a capital O. There we go. We got the people that feel right here, which is the feminine energy. We have the thinking over here, in light. So light. Oops. Light. And this would be water. Okay, so this is positive. So the great split that is going on is because some people are too stuck in what they're feeling and they're crying, and that's okay, but they don't know how to relieve their crying. Relieve their crying, their pain, and it's the mother not recognizing, or it's us being disconnected from the world so much that we don't know how to relieve ourselves anymore. We don't know what works. A lot of that's us being lied to and information being suppressed. A lot of our technology, innovation, things like that are going to the elite. They kind of cherry pick out from us, taking innovations or things that work. That's why they take our smartest people, our most talented people, and they try to either benefit from it or they try to hurt us, like the celebrities and stuff like that with it. And then you have your thinking people over here that can't feel, and they just are like, okay, well, all of these people are just not making any sense. They're just in their feelings. They're a hot mess. They don't even know what they're doing. But that's wrong, because there are people that are feeling, and there are people that do understand themselves. They're going deeper. They're going so deep, they're going back down to the roots. They're like, okay, going back to natural medicine, going back to raising farm animals, going back to anything but what they've been told, to find out, like, no, I know better than this. There's natural ways of doing things. They're pretty much trying to go into a feeling way. But you can also go down. This is why, unfortunately, people taking their lives is becoming very high, with either overdoses and taking their own lives, is because sometimes they're going so down they don't know how to go up, and they can't stop but to feel, and they use the substance of whatever they're using to try to bring them back up, because it's the only relief that they can get. Because sometimes these people, they're more sensitive. Sensitive is not bad. That means that you're more open to receive more information, which is what they really want, but they're closed off and not able to receive the information. These people can receive the information. It's just, can they handle it? Because the world's getting really freaking ugly right now. The world is really rough right now, and some people that are absorbing so much, they are really truly struggling to pull themselves out of it, because of the weight of the heaviness of the circumstances that they're going through. The people around them, they're losing their light, they're losing their hope. So then you also have people over here that are just very logical thinking and all that, and so this would be all of your social media type of stuff. This would be all this new technology that they are letting us have, like Chat GPT, a new AI form, which, come to find out, they've been having AI, I think they said since, I think, and I'm not sure, I don't like to say things that I'm not sure about, but I believe that it was since, I think they said 80s, but I could be wrong, or maybe it was 90s. But anyway, they've had it a freaking long time, or maybe they were starting to work on it in the 90s, and then they've been working on it for a long time, and just all of a sudden now AI is so new to us, who knows what kind of advancements they have. So pretty much these people are trying to find God. Sorry, I'm going back to these people. These people are trying to go back to God, Christ, within themselves, or the source, or God, whatever word you want to give it, because they know if they go back to their roots organically, biologically, there's something in them already that can help them, that can save them, that does have the knowledge of, like, plants and animals and things like that, or their natural spirituality. Okay, they don't need all this information from YouTube, social media, all that to tell them the truth. These people are thinking too much. What is the truth? They're trying to keep going, inventing, thinking of things. Sometimes they keep causing problems, just like these people can cause problems. Some people can be both of these also. That would be perfect. That's the way you want to be. This is balance. If you can balance these two, that's ideal. That's the first step to taking part of your peace, is finding the balance of this. But the world is weighing heavy on the feeling side. Let me put ing. Feeling and thinking. And this is where we're splitting and we're living two separate types of realities with one another. Because this side is like, ain't no way I'm going to be stuck in all that and those feelings. I would rather just stay away from that. Just give me my games, give me my entertainment, and keep my mind busy, and let me laugh and let me joke. Let me see what kind of cool things we can come up, innovative. So this can be positive also, right? So you can kind of going up, because you can come up with some really good ideas. And there are a lot of good inventors and things out there that have humanity in its best interest, right? But then there is most definitely a lot of manipulation going on in this world of what they're going to try to create a new God, basically. We already have a God. We already have that naturally. It was born with us. They're trying to create their own God, their own paradise. And it's going to be in the form of AI, for sure. And metaverse and stuff like that. And to where you don't even care what you're feeling, because all of their fancy little new gadgets will keep you from it. They'll put computer chips in your head to stop depression, which they already are doing that. They have all kind of like micro things that can go in your body and your bloodstream and stuff. And God is just showing me that this is the great split, and this is the great battle that everyone is talking about. It's between organic God, the God that actually created us and in us, and the God that they're starting to create now, which will be inevitably pretty much AI, because right now they're seeing this artificial intelligence, and it's going into a what do they call it? AGI, which is like a golden age of AI or something. So basically the AI is learning itself. It's multiplying its IQ by tenfold. And right now AI is at 155, they said, which is the same as Elon Musk. Albert Einstein's is at 160. And so they're saying like in a year, because we got Chat GPT 4, and by the 5 it's going to be tenfold of this. So then the IQ will be up to like 15,000 or something. And that's like basically the way they're explaining it. Not God. This came from YouTube. So I'm not going to mix the two. God does give me things, and sometimes I learn things on my own. This right here, this part of it God showed me. This part is on the internet. I want to be clear with that. Oh shoot, everything's backwards. Anyway, so imagine how smart Elon Musk and Albert Einstein, and how hard it is to comprehend their, stuff that they talk about and innovate. And imagine that this big. We won't even be able to comprehend it. And this is what's scary with the AI. This is why, depending on what we're feeding the AI, what people do with AI, will determine if it's going to be for us or against us. And there definitely needs to be regulations in AI, for sure. So I'm trying to think. Also, maybe I'll take this off. So with I don't know, we'll talk about like some of these celebrities of what they're doing, is how they're really big in symbolism and stuff. The kingdom over here, I don't know, I'm not going to draw the whole thing, but we'll just say, so the kingdom that's over here in Europe, we'll say that this is New York over here, and then down here was Africa, because they showed me a story about this stuff. Over here's Europe. Let's say this is US. I don't know. I'm going fast and horrible. Alright, so whatever. We get the point. Alright, so over here with all of their secret society type of teachings and stuff like that, they were getting people that either have intelligence or celebrity status, influence, basically. Either they would strip them of their intelligence, or if they were someone of influence, they would use them to project out certain things to influence all of us. So, if anybody has any trigger warnings about abuse, sexual abuse, I'm trying not to be very considerate of this topic. Not everybody's comfortable of talking about it. If you don't want to hear that, I would advise you to go ahead and click off. If you're interested in understanding on why they're attacking our children and what's going on with the sexual abuse and the pedophiles, I'm going to explain that right now. So I'll go ahead and close out if you don't want to, and if not, let's keep going. So what the pedophiles and all that is so when we're young, we are like sponges. Our brains are not fully developed, and when we're just absorbing, just like water, we're absorbing everything, and we can take shape of any container, and our brains are literally fluid. They want to try to penetrate as many children because before they're 8. And that's why, because that is the womb of the mother. That's how we keep that bad seed going, and then somebody would be more likely to become a victimizing other people again. So the pattern would go on. So say if they get in before 8, it's so embedded into more of their genes and their fluid. It's harder to understand that about themselves unless the abuse keeps going, if it went from 8 and on. And then so they would continue the cycle of the pain. They don't have to. It's just more likely. It's harder to control. That's why they're trying to hurt as many children as they are. Because someone could break off and grow from it, right? They could say, all right, someone hurt me. I will never hurt anyone like that again. Because of those feelings. That's them rising up above it. But some people can keep, the cycle going. All right. So they want to do that before 8 because of the emotional patterns that it causes in a child. And they don't have their mind, their cognitive thinking skills are not sharp enough to understand the differences between right or wrong. They just are going by feelings and sensations, or getting a false sense of, it depends on the way the circumstance plays out. So maybe I shouldn't really relate or go into that too much. Because anybody's circumstance could play out in any kind of way. They could be tortured, and that would be one thing. Some children could be elicited into feeling as though they're loved. So it depends on what kind of trauma they get with that, of why and how it will regenerate itself too. Because say if a girl was abused, she's going to keep looking for love from people that if she hasn't healed herself in those ways, and that's where she would keep getting let down. If it happens to boys, they normally are going to be very guarded type of people, very particular. We call them anal, really, but I feel sad to even say that. But they're going to be people that feel, or they make them feel dirty, and it makes them feel not clean, and they want to be clean, and they're trying to get rid of that, right? And if not, then they're going to be like Puff Daddy, which is another person continuing the pattern on and on, right? Unfortunately, as sad as it is. So, this is how our lovely little kingdom over here, or deep state, or wherever, God showed me it's here, but is penetrating, hurting people, using the negative feminine energy to damage the children. And so, Puff Daddy was over here, and Oprah, and they were like the queen bees. She was a queen bee, kind of. Well, the queen was the queen bee. These were kind of like worker bees. So she was like the dark feminine energy of the negative. And then Puff Daddy, Oprah was over here, kind of in Chicago is where she kind of originated. Anyway, they kind of traveled between that state, these states, and this state. Chicago, New York, Chicago, California, Los Angeles, right? Los Angeles is because these are all beautiful people that could have, that could have had potential, right? A lot of people go to California wanting to make it big, and they knew that, and they got them to sell their soul. What do they mean by selling their soul? Which is just like how I was saying with Adam and Eve, you have to know what you're receiving. So these people, they were being, do this and for us, and we will give you money, power, success, all the things that the gut was wanting to feel safe and secure. And that's how they sold their soul. And they did they would do bad deeds for the sake of revenge, power, control, money, pride, to be recognized, recognition, stuff like that. That would be Eve biting the apple and falling down. And then on top of it, then they went and influenced people. And not just influencing people by what they were saying, because I used to like Oprah and really looked up to her. But she started a school over here because she was trying to be more like teacher, nurturing type of energy over here in Africa, and hurting these girls, and her own beehive over here, and Puff Daddy being a worker bee over here. I'm just going to say over here because there's a lot of celebrities come out of there. He would take the young or the innocent, and even if they weren't young, they can still do it no matter what age you are, because you can always be willing to give that up at any time. And so, and these are kind of like games of, because you got a lot of the white people up here, and then black people down here. And I don't mean any of this in an offensive way, because I love us all, and I see us all equal. So please don't be offended by this, because this is just the way I have to explain it, because it becomes like this is the highest masculine energy, and this is the highest feminine energy, and so it becomes a game of chess. And this is why they are trying to bring that same game over here, because the white is the most powerful and the blacks are the most powerful of charge. Now, see, what we do with that could be like the Indians on this side, or like the Asians over on this side. We can try to do it from inside out, outside in. But the charge comes from the white and the black. And so they're trying to play this game, take it from over here. It originated over here. And whenever they brought, everybody over here, slaves and stuff, they came over here, took all the land from the Indians, and then tried to infiltrate more of this crap that they're playing over here, which is power games of white and black. And it's more like a checkerboard. And this is where Trump comes into play, because whenever you win and you trump something and you knock the king off, you won. So this is where the Masonics also have all of their white and black checkered floors and stuff like that. The G in the middle of it is God, or generative principle, basically what governs things. They think they govern all of it, that they created this whole game in the world, and that they should they're trying to play gods pretty much, but they're trying to be masters of the world and our laws and everything, in control of everything that's going on. There's a lot of people waking up that's coming back in touch to the roots down here, or they are getting a lot of spirit and downloads. We are getting tons and tons and tons of help from ancestors or angels and spirits, Christ, all of that. It doesn't matter if you're spiritual or religious. We're all getting help, because they're all coming in trying to help us. And I don't know, I'm still trying to figure out what the whole game over part was at the Super Bowl, but it was about this chess play. I do know that. And trying to think, because whatever, I don't know, God hasn't shown me who Trump is. All I know is that God has shown me that he's a gatekeeper. I don't know fully what that means yet, because some of this just unfolds to me, and I want to just stick to what God tells me, because I don't want it to be my own opinions of things. So I don't want to try to guess what stuff is. Like I said, I had no idea about this stuff. I don't even really watch the news anymore since COVID. I didn't watch the news before COVID. I did watch it during COVID and started getting into some stuff, but it didn't last very long because it was just like, okay. It's just games and propaganda and all that crap, and I didn't really like it, and I knew that they were just filling us full of shit. I knew that much, but I couldn't tell what they were doing or what it was about. Oh, and so, speaking of that, because we got Epstein Island. Oh, that's probably way up here more. Epstein Island. So basically, God is showing me, because of all the sickness, the darkness that's coming from some of the hidden agendas of these people, and the way that they're doing things, it's making the whole world we're making each other sick with judgment and our hate and our fighting towards one another. And it's like an allergic reaction that we can't stand one another. Because God was showing me, like, how over here there's a king cobra. And up here, we had, what were those bees? I can't remember the bees' names, but like the beehives up here. So it's all about like stinging and venom and stuff like that. And how that's where, because then I thought on my own, I was like, okay, well, he was showing me the bees and the kings, and king cobra is the snake down here. That's the big daddy, right? And the bees up here are the kind of like air that I was telling you, like messages and fire, because if you get stung by bees, it burns, but they also produce honey. And the queen bee sits in her hive and lets all the worker bees, like Puff Daddy, Oprah, all that stuff, go do all the work, come back, bring her all the goodies and stuff, and she don't have to do anything. That's where, when the queen died, that's where the game over, I do believe, is, because whatever Trump is, he's taken something over now. And from when Queen Elizabeth died, and the reason why anything with E-L is Eve, that's feminine. Anything with A-L is going to be masculine. So that'd be negative. That would be positive. These are the charges of God, in a way. So Queen Elizabeth being positive. But anyway, I'm not really sure about that. Down here, we have the anaconda, is the big daddy snake down here. And I'm thinking up here, what was it? It was like Mexican, what was it? Mexican, or what was it? I looked it up because God was trying to show me, because you got to pay attention to colors, and I'll get into colors too. God was showing me what all these colors meant. Like, all their colors represent something: black, yellow, orange, these are our primary colors, pretty much. I'll just break it down real quick. This way, which would be white, yellow, black, and red. And what that pretty much goes down to, because then this divides. These are the positive DNA energy of man. These are the energies of the mother, and this creates a seed for life, for all this, for all our colors, for all our people. We're all part of this. So no one's greater than no one. We all got our own little pieces of the pie. There shouldn't be no confrontation. We all have our strengths in our different areas. And, anyway, there's significance to all these colors, and this is why bees are so significant, because of black and yellow. And so anyway, we got king cobra, and then I think it's called Mexican wasp, Mexican honey wasp over here. Well, what's significant about those Mexican honey wasp over here is that they have more than one queen, and that's what's over here is the like women being good women is not just having one queen bee, you know, like Beyonce trying to be all Miss Queen Bee, blah blah blah, I'm the best thing since banana bread. Have multiple queen bees over here, and they share those roles with others, and they support one another, and they have also other types of bees, worker bees and stuff, drone bees and all that also work, but there's multiple, and the queen will create more queens, and this is a more balanced feminine energy than the kind of queen bees that are over here that just sit in their beehive and let everybody else do the work, and all the benefit goes to them, which is how that is going all across the world. Goes to this queen bee, or the elite, the few, the great, and it's all about the egg, the nucleus, the beehive. It all has to do with yellow yolk, stuff like that, because in a tree too, though, you got it as like your sap and your sap and syrup and all that, or I'm trying to think of the actual word that they call it, but pretty much all the fluid that goes through the tree. Those things are antibiotics, and because it's a balance, it's like Christ oil in a way, honey. It's a natural preservative and stuff like that. That's why they're going about things this way. So anyhow, I know this has been very long. Try to do the best I can. I know that there's probably more that I have to show. God is just revealing different things to me at different times. I've been nervous to talk about it, but I'm just like, whatever. I am me, and I have nothing to lose. So I might break some of this up in little segments, but I want to share this with anyone, or share this with everyone. I don't really want to debate with anyone. I'm just trying to do what I felt like God showed me to do. If people have questions, I'm completely open with that. If you want to share a rude opinion, go ahead and share your rude opinion. I'm just not going to really entertain it. I can't hold anybody from doing what they want to do. You want to tell me I'm the most evilest thing? That's fine. I'm to the point of it don't penetrate me. I know who I am. I'm just saying I'm not going to entertain it. I'm not going to mess with that. I'm not sharing this for any other reason but to help people. And I feel like as much as I didn't want to do this, I feel like God's pulling me to do this, giving me the courage to do it, telling me not to be afraid to do it. Because like I said, I went from being a very logical, practical person to so much spirituality and God and Christ, and I've been going through a rebirth, and it was painful. And this is part of what you guys have been watching going on with me, is a painful process. But there's a whole new Ashley that's coming out of it. And like I said, days after, like my miracle, all this started happening. And it kind of it didn't freak me out. I was overwhelmed. I didn't understand why. I'm like, God, you're giving that to me? Like, you know, people that grew up in church or something, like they might be better at this than me, or people that, I was still in a place of trying to even know what I felt or thought or any of that. I was, I guess, indecisive, or I wanted to think about things too much, maybe. I kept wanting to think and think and think and think and get more information. I was too afraid of being wrong. So I'm just jumping in and being me, and I hope that this helps someone. And if you have any questions, let me know, and I will do my best to answer them for you. Bye.